Hey guys, it's Chris. Welcome back to the channel. Short one today, fun one I think. Going through my bag, I'm going to do a what's in the bag for me for this year. It is the 1st of April, 2023. I think I've got my golf bag set in terms of what clubs I'm going to play this year. So I thought I'd just go through it, kind of talk you through what I've got, the specs of my clubs. Most of these I've been fitted for, so I can talk a bit about the fitting process. But yeah, we'll go through each of the clubs in my bag. I'll talk about it, and yeah, that's the video today. So here we go. Okay, let's start at the top. We got the big dog driver Ping G425 Max. I was fitted into this one by a Ping rep here at a demo day last year here in Minnesota. I got fitted into a 12-degree regular flex Ping G425 Max. I would have never for myself gotten a regular flex, nor would I have gone up to a 12-degree. But I got fitted by the Ping reps, and I hit the 10.5-degree heads, boosted up, in loft as much as they could. And my spin numbers and my launch numbers just weren't high enough. So I've got this 12-degree head. It is at the big plus setting, which makes it up to 13.5 degrees, which some of you are thinking that's crazy, that's way too much loft. But for me, it's the right loft. The way that I compress the ball at impact, it gets me in the right launch and spin window. If you've seen some of my other videos on the channel, you know about how I launch and spin it off the driver. It's like 12 degrees, 13 degrees, and I spin it at 2200, 2300. So I'm certainly not overspinning it or over launching it with this head and shaft combo. I swing about 105 is my club speed. So I've always played a stiff shaft. I wouldn't have picked a regular flex for me, but that's what the fitter fit me into, and I gotta say that it's been great for me. Last year was my first year with it, and I drove the ball great. So this driver, the only other setting thing on this is the little toe, the weight on this club, so it can be shifted into the heel to encourage a draw, in the middle for neutral, and out to the toe to discourage a draw. And I've got it out on the toe because I hit a draw pretty often. So grip on this is a Golf Pride Align MCC +4. I like kind of a bigger grip. I've always liked a mid-size grip on my woods to kind of help prevent the hook, and so I've liked that this year. This has been a great club. This is probably my favorite club in the bag, I would say. All right, next up is the fairway wood, and if you saw one of my earlier videos, you know that I kind of did my own amateur fairway wood fitting. I did get fitted for this club at Second Swing, but I had access to a GC3, and so I wanted to do a little fitting on my own. So this club that I ended up with is the Ping G425 Max 7 wood. It's a 20.5 degree head that I have lofted down. I have it set on the flat minus setting, so that's lofted to 19.5 and flat. So if you saw my fitting video on my channel, you know that when you loft one of these adjustable woods down, it discourages a draw because the face is actually open. And same thing with the flat, it discourages a draw. So the shot that I was trying to avoid with this fairway wood in my bag was a big kind of uncontrollable hook. So I'm hoping that this head with the adjustments that I've made will help me get away from that hook. As you can imagine, like I said with my driver, I really am compressing the ball, de-lofting the club at impact. So when I got fitted for this fairway wood, I've never really been able to hit a 3 wood off the deck, and that's what we found. in the testing, is that I really can't hit a fairway wood much lower than 18 degrees or 17 degrees or so. So this is 19 and a half. Loft is my friend. It'll help me get the ball up in the air. Okay, next wood-ish club in the bag for me is my trusty Titleist 818 H1 hybrid. It is 23 degrees of loft stated on the head. I've got it set to B4, which I believe is 2 degrees more loft. So this is playing 25 degrees of loft. It's got Project X Even Flow stiff 85 gram hybrid shaft in it. And it's just a little bit longer than my 4-iron in length. So this club, like I said, it's trusty. I love this little hybrid. It gives me a pretty consistent, solid 225 shot or so, maybe 230 if I stretch it. But I love it. It's good off the tee. It's good off the ground. It's good out of the rough. I love this little hybrid. All right, so the irons are next. And my set of irons are Ping I210s. I went and got fitted at Second Swing early last year. It actually was on Second Swing's YouTube channel. I'll try and link it in the video here, or at least down in the description. But I went in, I had old Adams CMB irons, which were a nice, kind of like a AP2 precursor. Adams made these CMBs, and I loved them, but the shafts were C-Taper 130X, and I just found that I needed something lighter. And so I went and got fitted at Second Swing, and as it turns out, these Ping I210 irons won the fitting. So they're in my bag. I was not a Ping guy prior to getting fitted for these. I never would have bought Pings for myself. I frankly didn't even want them in the test, really, but the fitter, Thomas, convinced me that I should get them, or that I should at least put them in the test. He thought that people who needed a little more height, these clubs often won out in the fitting bays for him, and he was right. So I love these things now. I played with them last year, and they're spectacular, and they're going to be in my bag for a long time. I have NS Pro Modus Tour 105 shafts in here. So these are Nippon shafts. They're a bit lighter. They're still stiff, but they're a bit lighter. My old shafts, like I said, were C-Taper 130Xs. So those are about as stout as you can get. These are lighter. They've got a little bit more give. I can't honestly say that I can tell when I'm swinging, one way or another in the shafts, but if you swung them side by side, they do definitely feel lighter. So this set I've got 4-iron through gap wedge. Initially, when I purchased it from Second Swing, it was just 5 through pitching wedge. I found that I really liked the irons, and with my gap wedge, I was using it more of a full swing shot rather than, an around the greens pitching club. So I wanted to get the matching iron for the set. And then the 4-iron, I just had a gap between my 5-iron and my hybrid that I wanted to fill, and the 4-iron fit it perfectly. I was a little concerned about being able to hit it high enough, but this thing does a nice job of getting the ball up in the air. I can hit it about 210, 215, which is a nice, gap between the 225, 230 from my hybrid and the 5-iron. I hit about 200. So I did have these clubs re-lofted a little bit. Ping, when you buy irons from them directly, they have the regular lofts, and then they have what's called retro lofts, which are a little higher loft, and then they have power spec lofts, which are a little lower loft. Like I mentioned, I compress the ball a lot. I am a lot of forward shaft lean at impact. I need more loft, so we ordered these. I'm not sure they were exactly the retrospect lofts, but they were lofted up a little bit in each of these irons. All right, wedges. My wedges are Titleist Vokey SM7s. Like I said, my gap wedge is 50 degrees, so I go 50 in the gap wedge, and then 54 degree sand wedge, I suppose, Vokey SM7, and then a 58 degree lob wedge SM7. I've considered removing the lob wedge from my bag entirely. Generally, I don't think most players should have a lob wedge in their bag in the first place. I could probably get away just fine with going 50 degree gap wedge and then 54 or 56 degree sand wedge. I don't really have another club that I would replace it with. I'd probably just go down to 13 clubs, which is the reason why I've got the 58 degree in the bag. Like, it doesn't hurt. It's a good bunker club. I did get fitted for these wedges at Second Swing as well. I ended up with the my sand wedge is 54, 14 degrees of bounce, and the full sole grind. The lob wedge is 58, 12 degrees of bounce, and the D sole grind, which there's just a little bit of toe and trailing edge and heel relief. I don't use the lob wedge all that much outside of bunker shots. Like I said, I tend to think that you shouldn't hit this club unless you absolutely need to anyway. The best bet to get the ball close to the hole is to get it on the ground as soon as possible. So I'm not hitting a bunch of flop shots around the greens or anything because I care about my score. But I've got it in the bag. It's a great bunker club. I have started to learn to hit 3/4 shots and half shots with it that I can control distances, go 50, 60, 70 yards. That's been an effective weapon in my game this last year. But those are my wedges. I like these Vokeys. Next time when I'm due to buy wedges, which will probably be in a couple of years yet, I'll probably look at the Pings just because I got Ping clubs in the rest of my bag and I really like them. I like how consistent they are. But the Vokeys will definitely be in the mix as well because I've really enjoyed having them. I had some other older Vokeys a while back and I loved them, and I love these as well. All right, last club in the bag is my putter. And this is one that this putter brand might not be super familiar to everyone, but it's an Even Roll. This is made by a guy named Garen Reif, who you might have heard of. He had Reif putters before this. He's been making putters forever. And sort of the secret sauce with this putter is the face. It's got what they call sweet face technology, which, believe it or not, I tend to believe in it a little bit. I've seen some of their tests and they seem convincing to me. But what they purport is that the grooves are wider in the middle and narrower on the edges. The purpose of that is to produce the same amount of energy coming off from the club to the ball, whether you hit it in the middle or on the toe or on the heel. Toe and heel strikes naturally give off less energy, so they've made the grooves such that the groove design will impart that energy back to the ball. I like it. I think mostly putting is mental and practice. I like the shape of it. I like the design of it. It's pretty familiar to me. I used to putt with an old Ram Zebra, and so this is pretty familiar to me. But I like the putter. I went and got fitted for this as well. One of the earlier videos on my channel is me talking about my putter fitting experience at Second Swing. And I brought it in because I had kind of a tough putting year last year and I was struggling with what to do. And the Second Swing fitter told me some technique things to work on. And he told me he liked my putter. So I've been working on those technique things, not as much as I should, but I'm working on them a little bit. But the putter's in the bag again. I know I can putt well with it. I just need to work on my technique and practice some more. So those are the clubs in the bag. But now I wanted to talk about what else I have in the bag. I don't think of what's in the bag is complete without the stuff in the bag, and then talking about the bag itself. I just bought this at the end of the season last year. I played with it a couple of times. This is a Sun Mountain Sink. Sun Mountain makes really nice bags. They make a lot of cart bags, and I walk all the time, but I bought myself a really nice Click Gear push cart last year. So I wanted to find a bag that was good on a push cart because I don't like riding. I'd prefer to walk. And I always push basically when I play. So this bag, the thing that drew me to this bag was that they specifically designed it for push carts. So there's some features on here that are push cart specific. Kind of the way that the clubs lie in the bag when it is on the push cart. The places that you put the clubs are slanted down so that when the bag is on your push cart, all your clubs you're able to see them nicely and pick them out cleanly. One of the other things I like about this bag is it has this cart strap pass through here, but it has this thing lifts up so you can put your push cart strap through there, which I think is brilliant and a lovely feature, and it really fits securely on my push cart, so I love it. It's got a bunch of pockets. This one here is a valuables pocket. There's nothing in here right now. I've got this big pocket. I've got some gloves, extra gloves. These are arm sleeves. So if you're not wearing a jacket but your arms are a little chilly. I've got a couple of sweet hats, bucket hats in here that are reversible. The rain hood, of course, is in here. Looks like that's it for this pocket. And then we've got some front pockets. This one up top that I showed you this thing has my rangefinder in it, which frankly I don't use all that much. Most of the time I'm looking at yardages on my phone. I've got an app called Hole19, which has been awesome. It's free to use, and it's got like maps of the courses, and you can click, on the bunker, on the picture of the hole, and it'll tell you how far you are from that bunker and then how far it is from the bunker to the green, which is awesome. Pretty good for a free thing. These couple of ball pockets down here, I've got golf balls in the big one, and then in the upper one I've got my little Altoids tin with tees and ball markers and etc. I have a leather scorecard holder that I put in my back pocket when I play. I've got a Sharpie up here, green Sharpie, to mark my marks. I've got my sunglasses here, my golf sunglasses. These just stay in my bag. And then off to the other side, there's a couple of more pockets. There's really more pockets than I know what to do with in here. One of these has snacks in it. I've got granola bars in it, etc. There is a cooler pocket down at the bottom. I'm not a big drinker out on the golf course, but I do drink a lot of water. So I got 2 water bottles. One of them is just a regular Camelback water bottle. The other one is like a thermos sort of thing that I found keeps ice frozen. So most of the time, I'll fill that one up with ice and a little bit of water, and then I'll fill my Camelback up with ice and water. And then when I drink through my Camelback, I'll go back to my thermos and fill it up with my still icy cold water from the thermos bottle. So that's my strategy. 2 water bottles comes in handy. You might not think of Minnesota as hot, but in the summer it gets hot here and humid. So you need as much water as you can get. That's my strategy for keeping it cold. So that's it. That's the bag for 2023. These are the clubs that I'm going with. Thank you for watching. Leave me a like. Subscribe if you want to. Would love it if you're along for the ride. If you have any comments or questions about what I've got in my bag or why, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer them. But yeah, thank you again for watching, and we'll see you on the golf course. So, I love these things. The gap wedge plays to 50 degrees. Get the cat out of here. You're going to be a star, Rory. You want to go? He'll be back. Okay, where was it?